So we've seen 2 teasers for Fontaine now, and they're both so exciting to watch, mainly because we know that it's not too long to go until we get to play Fontaine for ourselves. But since we can't play in it right now, it's fun to look at the small hidden details with our own eyes. And if we look closely, and not so closely in some cases, we can see that we have a lot to look forward to. So why not compile it into a video? Today I'm going to be going over 8 new things coming to Genshin Impact in Fontaine that you should be excited for. Some of these points are going to have my personal speculations based off of my interpretation of these teasers. So if you see anything different to what I see, that's completely cool. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my observations and speculations. This list is in no particular order of excitement, but starting off strong, we can't talk about a new patch without talking about new upcoming characters. There are characters like the Melazine and Harbingers and the Hydra Archon, but we are going to get new playable characters from Fontaine. Will they bring about a new meta to the game? Will their playstyles be fun? Will they have cool lore? The answer to all these questions is probably. You're probably gonna fall in love with at least one of these new characters in Fontaine. And having a new favourite character in Genshin is always a nice feeling. As we know, the Overture teaser dropped, so here are some things I noticed. There's a gun! Make it playable! This person, if it wasn't obvious from the gun, is Electro. We can see their vision. If we pause here, we can see her vision. We're actually getting a Geo character for the first time in ages. See, this can be either really, really nice or really sinister, and I don't know which one it is.
Actors hone their craft.
Oh, Harbingers are so cool. I'm so sorry. I don't care. They're so cool. But she's going to play a massive part. These 2 just got confirmed to be playable, so she's going to be huge in Fontaine.
Please refrain from levity in the court.
We're in the court. This is a courthouse trial. It's so sinister. I love it. Oh my god. This took up about half of the Fontaine teaser in the 3.8 livestream, so it's not much of a hidden detail. But it is very exciting. After so long of walking around and exploring nations, be it overground or underground, we'll now have the option to explore under the sea, and we'll be able to use the power of Hydro to get what we want out of it. It's almost like becoming a mermaid. How are we going to breathe underwater though? After all, the traveller is just in their normal attire. So there are either one of 2 things happening here. First of all, from the teaser, it looks like there's no stamina bar. So it looks like we can be underwater for as long as we please. So in this scenario 1, our stamina will only get depleted underwater if we do the equivalent of sprinting in there. This is the more copium option of the 2 scenarios. In scenario 2, there is some sort of stamina bar or stamina indicator to tell us how much time we have left underwater before drowning. But it wasn't shown in the teaser because there simply wasn't enough time for it. So maybe that's what this thing does. Every time it makes contact with a fish, your oxygen is reset. This one seems to be the more likely of the 2 scenarios, but there really is no telling with Genshin. Maybe one of the reputation rewards in Fontaine is the ability to breathe underwater infinitely. But that could just be copium talking again. Either way, Traveller is giving aerial right now, and we're going to have the chance to play around with this new underwater mechanic. At the beginning of the Fontaine teaser, we were following around this little pink Melazine. There's a couple of things we can take from this. First of all, this is a brand new character species. I don't know whether this is going to be a playable character or not, or if this is the Fontaine equivalent of an Aranara. I'm leaning towards the latter, because 1, this character has no visible vision, and 2, there's a point in the teaser where you can see the Melazine waving at a boat, and on this boat, it looks like there's a little Melazine on that too. And even if it's not a Melazine, it's at least got a similar uniform. And it looks like they're the same size too. Also, as a side note, we can see something on the boat that looks a little bit like Traveller, but that's not important. Alice mentioned justice a lot when talking about the Melazine.
Look how hard she's working for justice in this nation. What she lacks in size, she makes up for in her sense of justice, bolstered by her convictions.
Also, why was it Alice of all characters, by the way? Either she's getting a face reveal in 3.8, or she's gonna have something to do with the Archon Quest, but I'm digressing here. Justice seems to be a big theme in Fontaine, from what we can gather from this, which gives us an idea on what the motifs of this Archon Quest is going to be. Let's take a brief moment to talk about what the word justice represents. God, I sound like an English teacher. Justice is synonymous with words like fairness and equity, so the nation could be fair to its people people and values that everyone will be treated equally. Now that's the Disney princess fantasy version of this nation, and judging from the tone of the Overture teaser, Fontaine doesn't seem to be lighthearted. So the other one, and a more hard-hitting approach to the concept of justice, is referring to law, court, and authority, meaning that the nation is fair, but the concept of what fair is based on the law, and powerful officials will do anything to enforce that law. And considering how important the concept of justice is to a Melusine, the pressure to uphold justice in a courthouse must be immense. And the fact that at the end of the Overture teaser, we're probably in some sort of courthouse, this seems more likely. So my guess is either we're going to get tried for being a part of seniority, or because we were trying to kill a fish underwater, specifically this one, because it looks like somebody is spying on us with that blink. Both? Maybe? Both is good. The Archon Quest has been getting darker and more intense with each region, so we can expect that the Archon Quest in Fontaine is going to follow this pattern. We've met a good few Harbingers during our journey so far, and something tells me that Fontaine isn't going to be Harbingerless either. After all, we have boss fights with Harbingers in Liyue, Inazuma, and Sumeru, so I'm pretty sure Fontaine will follow suit. Considering that a while back Genshin randomly revealed all of the Harbingers that we're going to be meeting, and the fact that one of them is now in the Overture teaser, a Harbinger appearance is pretty much confirmed, and it looks like they'll play a big role. It's all well and good to be invested in the Archon Quest and getting closer to the truth about what happened to our sibling and what it means to be the traveller in the world of Teyvat. However, what's equally as exciting is learning about the new lore of a new region. All these nations, Fontaine, Natlan, Snezhnaya, Conria, their whole lore is shrouded in mystery, so naturally it's exciting to see what their lore is. How deep does Fontaine value justice? How do the higher-ups enforce it? How do the common people of Fontaine go about their lives with their own sense of justice? What dark secrets does Fontaine hold? What's the state of living there? What are the backstories of these playable characters? All these things and more will get answered from August of 2023 to summer of 2024. So while the Archon Quest will be updated, and then we won't hear about it again for months on end, at least every 6 weeks or so, we'll have the chance to get to know Fontaine as a nation on a deeper and deeper level. When Sumeru's music came out, pretty much everyone agreed that the soundtrack was fire. Whether that was because it was just the new hype of a new region and there was something fresh and permanent coming to the game for the first time in ages, or if the songs were genuinely a bop, there's no doubting that a new soundtrack is always going to be received positively in the Genshin community. In fact, if you listen a little closely in the teaser, you can hear what the soundtrack might end up sounding like.
In the nation of justice, there is a little upstanding Melusine.
It kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing. However, if Inazuma and Sumeru's development over their time in the spotlight are any indication, Fontaine's land will grow as the patches come pouring in, so different areas will have different soundtracks. So maybe this Animal Crossing vibe is limited to this big, shiny part of Fontaine. Is that a robot? Lastly, it looks like Fontaine is less green than the likes of Mondstadt, Liyue and Sumeru. To Genshin standards, it seems like it's the most technologically advanced nation to date, with less of an emphasis on greenery and naturalism, and more on big structures and man-made beautiful interior design. Fontaine so far seems beautiful to look at, and is a nice refreshing change to all the grass that the traveller has been touching in Sumeru. And that's it. 8 new things that we can look forward to in Fontaine, featuring my own comments and speculations about them. I wonder if I'll get anything right. Let me know down in the comments what you're most excited for about Fontaine. And if you made it to the end of this video and you're listening to this right now, comment a bird emoji. Specifically this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.